Task 2. This is from test number 1 of Cambridge book number 15. And here the question says, in some countries, owning a home rather than renting one is very important for people. Why might this be the case? This is the first question here. Why might this be the case? First question. Okay. And the second question is, do you think this is a positive or negative development? Okay. And this second part or second question is, do you think this is a positive or negative development? So give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Write at least 250 words. We have 40 minutes time in the exam. And this is two-part question or double question prompt. Type of essay is double question prompt, okay? Double question prompt. So let's make a clear format. And how can we write the essay for higher band score? We need some certain steps here. Two-part question. And now we have introduction. We have introduction. And we have body 1 for the first question. And we have body 2. Just keep writing. And we have conclusion. We have conclusion. Okay. This is the generic structure. And what do we do here in the first step? The question says, in some countries, owning a home rather than renting is very important for people. Why might be the case? Why might this be the case? And another question, do you think this is a positive or negative development? And we'll directly answer for first question in body 1. Okay, body 1 we will be talking about the first question, and body 2 will be talking about the second question, and we'll be restating for the main points of body 1 and body 2. So in the let's say introduction, and the first step is we have generally 2 sentences. Okay, here write fully paraphrase the question. Fully paraphrase the question. And then answer. Okay, I'll write. Give an outline sentence. Outline sentence for question number 1. Okay, for both questions. So we have written 2 sentences in the introduction. First one is we generally paraphrase the question, and the second one is we give an outline sentence for both questions. Our introduction is done. We'll be doing after some time. Just let me remind you the structures. And in the body 1, we make, let's say, 2 main points. We make 2 main points. Okay, then explain them one by one. Explain them one by one. Okay, and then we give an example and we conclude it, okay, or we talk about its result. Look, we make two main points, explain them one by one and give an example, and finally the result. So here this we directly answer for the first question. We directly answer the first question. So we have done the first question in the generic structure. Then we come to the second question and we again talk about, we make two main points and we explain them one by one and we give an example and then the result. Okay, the second question. We answer directly the second question. Second question. And then we come to the conclusion. Are you listening to me in the background?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just keep writing. Then in the conclusion, we restate the main points of body 1 and body 2. Remember, many of the IELTS instructors on YouTube, they ask you to write a background sentence in the introduction. And I do not suggest you to go like that. Okay, you can directly begin the question. In some countries, owning a home rather than renting one is very important for people. Why might be this the case? Do you think this is a positive or negative development? So, here, why might be the case? Why do people like to make their own house? Is the question. We have, for example, one point we can make here. Why do people like to make one house? One can be, let's say, sense of ownership or freedom. One reason. Another reason can be the stability. People like to live for a long time, okay? So these are the two, let's say, reasons. Very generally or very common, these two are the reasons. Let's see, there are other reasons too. But here we have thought, why might this be the case? The one case might be the sense of ownership or freedom, another stability. And then we come, do you think this is a positive or negative development? And here we restate, this is both positive and negative development. both positive and negative development. On the positive side, let's make one point. What happens? Okay, it may bring happiness in your life. Okay, if you have your own home, it may bring happiness in your life, and it will also, let's say, it will also create some financial CREAT, sorry, CREATE, create, it will also create some financial pressure, something loss, okay, like that. So we'll be writing on this prospect. First question, why might this be the case? One case is sense of ownership or freedom. Another, let's say, case is stability. And the second question, do you think this is a positive or negative development? Both positive and negative development, in my opinion. On the one hand, it might bring some happiness in your life. And on the other hand, it may also create some financial pressure or loss. Okay. So we have just made our supporting points for body 1 and body 2, or for first question and the second question, and we have outlined the generic structure. May I go to the question now? Sorry, answer. Let's go to the sample answers, okay, that I have written. And have you written these outlines, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just keep writing. Write the introduction. Nowadays, in people's life, owning a home rather than renting has become so significant in some countries. This is exactly the question that we have paraphrased. And the second is outline sentence. This essay highlights two main causes of this situation, and also presents that this tendency has both negative and positive sides. So this is outline sentence. We have done very, like, okay, we have fully paraphrased the question and we have fully outlined the sentence, okay, outline the essay. And this essay highlights two main causes of this situation. In the first, let's say body 1. In body 1, we'll be directly answering for the first question or to the first question. And then there is comma, and also presents that this tendency has both positive and negative sides. So this is both positive and negative development, okay? So the question is fully, let's say, paraphrased, or let's say the tax response. This is marking criteria. We'll be talking about this later. Now, have you done the introduction? Nowadays, in people's life, owning a home rather than renting has become so significant in some countries. This essay highlights two main causes of this situation and also presents that this tendency has both positive and negative sides. So one situation and another is tendency. Have you done the introduction?
No, sir.
Okay, just carry on.
Situation.
And in the introduction, nowadays in people's life, owning a home rather than renting has become so significant in some countries. This is complex sentence and is so precise. This essay highlights two main causes of this situation and also presents that this tendency has both positive and negative sides. Another sentence is also complex. So these two sentences are complex. Okay, one let's say one sentence consists of 17 words, and another consists 21 words. Okay, so many of the students write running sentences. They can't really control the sentences, but they try to write very long sentences. In fact, they are not, let's say, uh, they are not appreciated by the, let's say, examiner. You need to write very concise, precise, and meaningful sentences. No matter if you write short sentences, simple, complex, and compound, but you try to write very complex sentences, finally they carry no meaning. So it doesn't, let's say, deserve higher band score. Okay, write simple, clear, and precise. Shall we go in body one of the essay now?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Here, the beginning phrase is one of the main reasons, the perfect, let's say, one of the main reasons for owning a home is that people would like to have a sense of ownership or freedom. So, sense of ownership or freedom that we have outlined. So the main point is one of the main reasons for owning a home is that people would like to have a sense of ownership or freedom. How and why? We need to explain here. Okay, one sense of ownership, another sense of freedom. We need to fully justify these points. It is because by nature, here must be the comma, okay? It is because by nature, people like to purchase more property and asset in their life when they find themselves financially strong enough. Have a look. It is because by nature, people like to purchase more property and asset in their life when they find themselves financially strong enough. For example, if you do not have money, you don't dream to have a house. Rather, you like to live in a rent, right? So the first one is the point, and meanwhile is the, let's say, linker. They also want to have a sense of freedom. People, they like to have a sense of freedom. People like to have a sense of ownership. When they have money, they like to purchase more property and asset. That is ownership. And what is about freedom? Okay, here freedom is the word. Meanwhile, they also want to have a sense of freedom in their life. How and why? If people possess their own house, they can do whatever they want. Another supporting point. This is, let's say, if clause, and see the sentence. If people possess their own house, they can do whatever they want. For example, it is explained and now it is supported by the example. Okay. For example, they can put any color or paint they wish or any design they like to have. If people have their own house or home, they can, let's say, put any color, any paint, or they can design as per their wish. So this is the example. So this is freedom, sense of freedom. Additionally, now another point is coming here. Additionally, we have done the first supporting one, sense of freedom and sense of ownership. Additionally, people would like to have stability. Another reason for having or owning one home is that people like to have stability. In other words, now this main point is going to be explained or extended. Provided that you have your own home, you can stay there as long as you wish. Isn't it the reality? Provided that you have your own home, you can stay as long as you wish. On the contrary, if you live in a rented house, you have to leave that when the house owner asks. So if you live in rent, and then whenever your house owner asks you to go, you have to go. You have to leave that. But, or let's say, but when you have your own home, there is nobody to ask you to leave. You can leave as long as you wish. You can sell, or you can, let's say, do what you wish. So the uh, uh, first body paragraph of this essay talks about the first question, why might this be the case? These are the cases. Once again, let me revise. One of the main reasons for owning a home is that people would like to have a sense of ownership or freedom. It is because by nature people like to possess more property and asset in their life when they find themselves financially strong enough. Meanwhile, they also want to have a sense of freedom in their life. If people possess their own house, they can do whatever they want. For example, they can put any color or paint they wish or any design they like to have. Additionally, people would like to have stability. Another or reason is the sense of stability. In other words, provided that you have your own home, you can stay there as long as you wish. So this is longevity, stability. On the contrary, if you live in a rented house, if you live in a rented house, you have to live that when the house owner asks. So we have done the first paragraph and fully discussed the main ideas, and we supported with the example and the conclusion. On the contrary, the negative side, if you live in a rented house, you have to live that when the house owner asks. So moving on to the, let's say, paragraph number 2, or we directly like to answer the second question. Is this a positive or negative development? Here, the second paragraph says, I believe that, so this is the position, okay? I believe that having a home brings a sense of fulfillment in people's life. Sense of fulfillment. I guess everybody has a dream to have a beautiful house in their, let's say, life. Many of you have this dream, okay? I believe that having a home brings a sense of fulfillment in people's life, which might even contribute in promoting happiness in their life. And as a result, this might even contribute in promoting happiness in their life. When people have their own home, they can feel a sense of fulfillment, or they feel like that their dream has come true, and it may finally contribute in promoting or bringing happiness in their life. This is the positive aspect. And the negative aspect, despite this, okay, despite this, now the another point is going to be contradicted from this. While having a home, okay, while having a home is a good phrase, you may sometimes, in the frequency, have to pay mortgage, or take banking loans, or spend a lot of money. On the negative side, sometimes you need to pay mortgage, or sometimes you need to take banking loans, sometimes you need to spend a lot of money while having a home. Conversely, if you live in rent, you do not need to be worried about mortgage or banking loan, or you would not have to worry about the house market crashing or a natural disaster destroying your expensive home. On the negative side, when something goes wrong, something, let's say, natural disaster, or the house market crashing, at that time you have to bear great financial pressure or burden. So on the negative side, this is the case. If you live in a house, you don't need to be worried about this mortgage. You don't need to be worried about banking loan, or okay, you don't need to spend a lot of money. What you have to do is just only to pay the regular rent, okay, per month or twice or thrice in a year, okay. But if you have your own home, on the positive side, it may bring happiness and sense of fulfillment. But on the negative side, you have to bear great financial burden or pressure, like mortgage, banking loan, and I spend a lot of money. All right. So when there are sometimes, or when the house market gets crashed or natural disaster destroys your house, at that time you have to bear the great financial crisis. You have to, let's say, lose. You have to bear the all financial pressure. Have you done the second paragraph, or are you still working there?
Finish, sir.
Let me highlight the negative side. It's, let's say, controlling one or contradictions here. Let's read again. Okay, just listen to me. I believe that having a home brings a sense of fulfillment in people's life, which might even contribute in promoting happiness in their life. Despite this, the, let's say, very perfect word, despite this, while having a home, you may sometimes have to pay mortgage or take financial banking loan or spend a lot of money. Conversely, if you live in a rent, you do not need to be worried about mortgage or banking loan, or you would not to have, okay, you would not have to worry about the house market crashing or a natural disaster destroying your expensive home. So this talks about both positive and negative sides of having a home and living in a rent. Okay, this is both positive and negative development. Okay. So the second paragraph, second question is also answered, fully answered. And in conclusion, the perfect word, okay, don't write unnecessary the phrases like in recap, to recapitulate or like that, okay, to sum up, whatever. The perfect, let's say, and formal phrase while writing conclusion in IELTS writing is to conclude or in conclusion. A sense of ownership and freedom, a sense of ownership, freedom, as well as longing for stability. These are the main points we discussed in body 1. Are the major causes of owning a home? What are the major causes? Again, we need to restate, okay, what we discussed in body 1 and body 2. We have already clear outlined the essay. In the conclusion, we need to restate. The conclusion of the essay is exactly the mirror of the essay, the reflection of body 1 and body 2. A sense of ownership or freedom, as well as longing for stability. We have discussed stability, ownership, freedom are the major causes of owning a home, which in a positive side may lead you towards a sense of fulfillment. In the positive side, it may lead you towards fulfillment and bring happiness. Fulfillment is here, but it may also lead you to bear a great financial pressure because of credit or loan. On the negative side, here, but is the perfect word, okay? You can write however, nevertheless, nonetheless, okay? But I have simply put this, but it may also lead you to bear a great financial pressure because of credit or loan. And another point, while renting a home for living, avoid this situation in your life. On the contrary, when you live in a rented house, you don't need to bear all this. So we have talked about positive and negative sides of owning a home and living in a rent or renting. All right, just go on and let's analyze this essay. The first one is marking criteria. The British Council examiners or IDP examiners, they evaluate your essay on the basis of tax response. This carries 25 marks. Okay, then let's talk about coherence. Coherence and cohesion. It carries 25 marks. And the third step or the third category is lexical resources. In simple term, you can use vocabulary, okay, lexical resources, and the last one is grammatical range and accuracy. So grammatical range and accuracy, it carries 25 marks. I guess there is no any grammatical error or mistake. We have fully responded the question, we have fully paraphrased the question and responded it well, and we have clear supporting point, and then we have fully extended and developed our idea, coherence and cohesion, and we have used varied, let's say, vocabulary on the question or on the essay, and grammatical range and accuracy. We have no mistake, I guess, in punctuation, or let's say, there is no, I don't think there is any mistake. And we have used varied sentence structures. Majority of the sentences are complex, okay? And here we have used a lot of cohesive devices. Here, despite this, conversely, here, but, while, okay? For example, additionally linking words. So many things. Meanwhile, and here, while writing if sentences, provided that, if, okay, if clause, at least you need to write one if sentence or if clause in body 1 and body 2. And have you done this essay, guys?
Yes, sir.
So this essay obviously goes for band 8, even 8, 8.5, even the examiner may give 9. We have let's say, met all the marking criteria on the basis of tax response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resources, and grammatical range and accuracy. So I can't say this is band 9, but it obviously goes for band 8 plus. There is no doubt. So we have those 2 minutes and 20, let's say 2 minutes remaining. You have done this, go through this one, okay? And this is the end of today's class. Go through this and practice writing yourself. We'll be having another class tomorrow, okay? Have a good day and bye.
Bye, sir.
Sir.
Okay, have a good day.